HOA called the cops when I kayaked on my own lake. Turns out they had been dumping chemicals there for years. Have you ever been yelled at for kayaking alone on a lake that legally belongs to you? Because that's how this started. But it sure as hell isn't how it ended. See that lake? It's been in my family since 1973. It sits on the south edge of my grandfather's old homestead, right where the pines break into cattails. Crystal clear, spring-fed, with trout that practically jump into your lap come fall. For decades, we use it for everything: swimming, fishing, paddling. Even my wife and I got married there, barefoot on the shore. But the HOA didn't care about any of that. Not after they expanded. It was 5 years ago when the Lakeside Meadows HOA crept its way to our border like a weed, bought up lots, paved over old fields, and started mailing everyone their glossy newsletters full of rules nobody voted on. The problem was, our property, including the lake, wasn't part of their master plan. Didn't stop them from trying to control it. Karen Stafford, their iron-fisted, bloated excuse of a president, made it her mission to beautify the entire water system, which meant posting no boating signs, fencing off half the shoreline, and handing out fines like candy to anyone who so much as sneezed near the lily pads. I ignored them, of course, because it gave me lake. But last month, something changed. I took my kayak out just after sunrise. Quiet, peaceful, mist curling off the water like it always had. I glided past the reeds near the northwest edge and noticed something new. The cattails were dying. Big yellow patches. And then the water shifted oddly near the inlet. It shimmered. And then I saw Ida, a plastic drum, half buried under the mud. I paddled closer. Black lettering, half faded. Chemical storage Ida, not breach. The lid was cracked open. A slow ooze spilled from the rim into the shallows. I froze. Snapped a photo. Then another. Before I could even call it in, I heard a voice echo across the water. "You are trespassing and violating water standards." I turned to see Karen waddling down the hill in full HOA, the battle gear, clipboard, plastic visor, and that damn bullhorn she used at every board meeting. "This is a closed conservation zone," she bellowed, red-faced and panting. "You are not permitted to use this waterway." I called back calmly, "Karen, this is my lake, my deed, my shoreline. Your HOA doesn't control this land." She didn't care. She pulled out her phone and yelled into it like she was ordering a tactical strike. "Yes, 911. I have an unauthorized male operating a watercraft in a protected environmental zone. Possible illegal fishing, disturbing water ecology. Send someone now." I shook my head and paddled back to shore, snapping photos of the shoreline as I went. That chemical drum? Not the only one. I counted at least 4 partially hidden underbrush, some with sludge leaking into runoff trenches. 15 minutes later, the cops arrived. Karen met them like they were her personal security detail. Her double chin quivered as she explained, loudly and dramatically, that I was endangering sensitive habitats and threatening HOA-managed land. But when Deputy Haynes approached me, I handed him 2 things. My original property deed including full lake rights. A printed aerial photo from the county registry showing the HOA boundary ending a solid 300 feet before my shoreline. He nodded. "This all checks out." Then I handed him the photos of the barrels. His face changed immediately. "You say you found these today?" I nodded. "There's more. Backside of the West Ridge. Been leaking into the lake. No permits. No signage. You tell Mujo's really trespassing here." Karen's face twisted in confusion and panic. That's maintenance runoff. Totally legal. Approved by our environmental consultant." Deputy Haynes raised an eyebrow. "Which consultant? What firm?" Karen blinked. "I'll have to check my files." "Let's do that," he said flatly. "Right now." And that's when twist number 1 hit her like a brick. The county sent a hazmat team out that same afternoon. Within 3 hours, they flagged the site as an unreported chemical disposal zone. All barrels, 9 in total, were traced back to a landscaping firm hired exclusively by the HOA. And the contents? Lawn treatment runoff. Banned for use near natural waterways since 2011. Karen tried to claim she had no idea, that the barrels were ancient, left by previous owners. But twist number two? The newest barrel had a printed date March 8th this year. 3 months ago, and the invoice? Signed by Karen herself. Karen stood on the grass, pale now, makeup streaked from sweat and lake mist, hands twitching over her clipboard like it might still protect her. But no piece of paper was going to save her from what was coming next. The hazmat team cordoned off the shoreline within the hour. County environmental officers showed up with clipboards of their own, and this time, they weren't interested in her bylaws. They pulled up aerial drone footage, conducted water tests, and confirmed the worst. The HOA had been illegally dumping for years. The chemicals had leached into the feeder stream, disrupting fish migration and potentially contaminating 2 neighboring wells. The state water board was alerted, and so was the local news. Twist number 3? One of the reporters assigned to the environmental story turned out to be the daughter of a family who'd been fined by Karen 3 times, once for overgrown herbs and twice for allowing their kids to play too loudly by the fence. Her article? Brutal. HOA president calls 911 on property owner found guilty of years-long illegal dumping operation. Karen tried to go underground after that. She skipped the next board meeting, but it didn't matter, because her own HOA members turned on her. Hard. Residents, many of whom had no idea their fees were going toward chemical landscaping and hush-hush shoreline beautification, projects showed up en masse demanding her resignation. Turns out, she'd also quietly approved a series of contractor payments to her nephew's unlicensed landscaping company, the same one that delivered those barrels. Lawsuits followed. The county fined the HOA $280,000 for environmental violations. The state levied personal liability fines against Karen herself totaling $87,000. And the final blow? The EPA stepped in. The lake was officially declared a remediation zone, meaning the HOA could no longer claim authority over it, use it for recreational purposes, or access the path I built decades ago. Karen was ousted in a 97% board vote, not just removed, banned from any future leadership in all state-registered HOAs. Her house was listed 2 weeks later, her name blacklisted from multiple realty circles. And me? I was asked to sit on the new Community Environmental Advisory Council. The irony? My kayak photo of the first barrel, the one she tried to shut down, became the cover photo for a countywide water safety campaign. They blew it up on a billboard right at the edge of the lake. Every time I paddle past it now, I smile a little. We placed a wooden sign at the edge of the dock. Emma carved it by hand. It says, "Truth floats. Lies leak. We host cleanup days now. Open to anyone, HOA or not. No fines. No fear. Just neighbors pulling garbage out of a lake that never asked to be polluted." And Karen? She moved 2 counties east. Rumor is she's trying to start a new HOA, but with her name in the system and an EPA case still in her shadow. No one's letting her near water or bylaws ever again. So now I'll ask you, was Karen protecting the lake from reckless paddlers? Or was she just trying to hide the truth under muddy water? The end.